Hey guys, welcome to Traditional Bow Hunting Wilderness Podcast. Today we're going to talk about sharpening broadheads real quick. I've done a few videos on this in the past, and my philosophy is a little unique, but the process is always the same. You don't need to have fancy stuff to sharpen them. You don't need to have fancy diamond stones. You don't need to have a fancy belt grinder. You don't need fancy whetstones. You don't need any of that, you know, and I have all that, and it works great. I use a belt sander quite a bit just because I'm more lazy than I am anything else. But now here where I am, we're at a rental house right now, still here in Michigan, and I'm sharpening heads up, and I'm doing it all by hand because I didn't bring any of that other stuff with me. It's all already down in Georgia. So I thought I'd take a minute and show you here some of the things and give you and clear up some misconceptions and give you some ideas and some thoughts on things. When it comes to your broadhead sharpness, we got three different kinds here, three different types of steels as well too. And you know, your steel is going to matter as far as how sharp you can get them. I don't care what anybody tells you, but by hand, carbon steel is always going to sharpen better than stainless steel is. It just is what it is. Like I said, somebody can argue that, but they're arguing it on a machine. When you're doing them by hand or anything like that, you know, you're going to do better on carbon than you are on stainless steel. Now, I'm not saying stainless steel can't get sharp. I'm just saying that you're going to get better results with a carbon head than you are with a stainless head by hand, but you can still sharpen them, just takes a little more effort. The whole old shave thing, kind of, you know, I know it's been around for a lot of years and that kind of thing, where they take that head and they're going to shave their arm, and you know, you're going to get all that hair to pop and like that. It's all coming right off, you can see. And you know, the hair shaving thing is one thing, but realistically, I've got, especially with knives, again, I sharpen so many knives all the time. This is that amazing knife by Broken Compass Knives, Travis Styles, I carry in my pocket. But I have sharpened so many knives to mirror finish, perfectly polished edges that I was so proud of. I could read newspaper in them and do all this stuff. And then I take it out and you know, I mean, it was ripped through paper and just the finest little thing. You could split hairs with it, shave. You could do everything you wanted to with it. It was just so wicked push sharp. Okay, that's the key word, push sharp. But then I take it out and I go to use it to cut a piece of rope, and it doesn't cut for crap, and I got to sit there and saw on the rope. It's like, what the heck? I just sharpened this knife and made it sharp. So I don't buy into a lot of what people think is sharp and what they don't think is sharp, and the process is out there. Push sharp is one thing. Okay, that's where you're going to push through something, push through paper. Okay, push hair off of your arm. That's all push sharp. I want razor sharp. I want cutting sharp. So I use what's called a rubber band test most of the time. Plus, like I said, as I'm getting older, I'm kind of running out of hair on my arms. Everything's kind of thinning out, and even my legs. I don't know why, but you know, most of the hair on my legs is even gone. It's like I got some here, but I mean, I don't understand why. But it's like basically, you know, just little bits. This is, I don't know if it's from wearing snake boots all the time or what, but it's just, you know, like I said, you know, one of those kind of deals. But when it comes to blades, razor blade or knives and broadheads, I want that thing to be able to cut through the stuff, the median that I'm after. Okay, so when it's a knife in my pocket, yes, I want it razor sharp. Yes, I want it shaving sharp. That's fine. But I want it to be able to cut things I'm going to be cutting every day. I'm not cutting paper every day, and I'm not shaving my arm every day. I'm cutting rope. I'm cutting into animals. I'm cutting into that kind of stuff, and I want it to work best for that. So I kind of make my sharpening tailored that way. Same with my broadheads. I don't need my broadheads to cut paper. They do, obviously, but I don't. That's not what my interest is. My interest is to cut arteries. And the best representation I have for arteries, or that I have found, is rubber bands. Okay? Simple, easy rubber bands. If you can cut a rubber band as you're moving that cut, is it every little bit, if you're cutting that rubber band, that's like an artery is. Okay, I'm not stretching it super wide and then ripping through it. Okay, but you'll see it on there. But if that thing is grabbing and cutting through there, that's what I'm looking for. Now, over the years, I've done all this testing. I know that they're razor sharp and shaving sharp, but they're still not sharp as I want for that. So then I got to keep going and get to where they're cutting that rubber band. So for me, rubber band test is the absolute best test. Sorry, I don't know why I got this phlegm stuck in my throat. But, and then sharpening tools, You know, I've got it all. I've got everything. Diamond stones, whetstones, belt sanders, ceramic rods, expensive systems. The only thing I can't sharpen on is a Lansky system. That's that little clamp thing, and then you got those little rods that go on there and you work them back. I can't sharpen on that to save my butt. I don't know why. Just can't do it. Everything else I can. My preferred system and the simplicity of it, it doesn't matter if it's for knives or if it is for broadheads, is a Lansky ceramic rod. These come in those kits that you get, you know, where they stick in on 2 sticks. They come with 2 rods in them, and I've talked about them before, but this little simple ceramic rod and a bastard file, mill bastard file, and you can see mine is caked dirty, okay, filthy dirty. I don't care. Yeah, I could scrape it out, but my scraper or my file cleaner brush is actually not here. So I give it some taps and try to knock stuff out of it a little bit, but like I said, is what it is. I just don't care. And then I go to a double stropping system, leather sometimes, or cardboard, works just fine, and a piece of denim. I don't even put rouge on the cardboard too much anymore. Now, when I'm down in Georgia, I have it, I will, but right now I don't, so it just is what it is. It's just a piece of cardboard. So we take a head, and again, they all work the same. We have double bevel heads, no different, okay? And we have single bevel heads, no different. The concept is 100% the same. What you have to do is you have to work an edge until you get a bevel, or until you get a burr, okay? Then you're even on the back side of a single bevel, I'm going to remove that burr, and then that's going to tell me that I've sharpened both sides. I can do that with diamond stones. I can do that with whatever. I like a file. I like going personally from a rough cut to a medium grit rod to stropping. That's what seems to give me the best cutting on rubber bands and rope and stuff like that, and that's what I'm after. Like I said, if I had a nickel for every time I got something so wicked, mirror polished, perfectly sharpened, and been disappointed with it, I'd be a rich man. I hate that stuff. I'm sorry, but I use these things way more than way too often, especially the knives in my pocket, and I just can't tolerate that stuff no more. Sorry to whoever makes them that way and things like that. I'll even do that with, like I would do that in the old days with the kitchen knives for my wife, and then literally after I spent hours sharpening all this stuff and making them the most wicked kitchen knives in the world, you know, a week later she's like, God, these are all dull again. So what? So no, for me, this is the stuff I use that I'm most happy with. Now even this is that new Razer head, okay? This is that new Razer Broadhead by Razer Broadheads. And 1 3/8 wide. This thing is just a wicked head. A2 steel and 58-59 Rockwell hardened, so it's a very hard steel, which it needs to be because it's single bevel. You got to prevent that thing from shattering or bending and things like that on the edges, because a single bevel edge is so precise. It's not doubled up like this. You don't have this. Okay, you have it flat, then you have this other one that comes into it, and it's a very fine little point on the end of that edge. So they got to be built well and built right and heat treated the correct way to work. So it makes these a little tougher to sharpen than, say, something of our simple high carbon steel, which you could sharpen these up in about 3 minutes and get them razor sharp real quick and easy. These take a little longer. Process is still exactly the same, and I'm going to do it by hand. And I'm kind of jammed in here against this rail, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that file on there. Now, if you want a jig, you can buy like the Stay Sharp or the AccuJigs or the KME sharpener, clamp this in and push it across your whetstone or your diamond stone, and you'll hold that bevel. Okay, if you want a freehand, you can also take and put a marker on here with a Sharpie marker and coat that bevel, and then that way you can see what you're removing. Once you lay that bevel on, you'll feel that angle. Okay, you want to just basically mimic that, but what I'm going to do is put a few strokes on this. Okay, this is a brand new head. We'll dull it. Look, oh, what's he doing? Oh my God, oh, what is he doing? I'm dulling it right out, okay? Oh no, he's ruining it. That head's destroyed. No, it's not destroyed. We're going to bring it back, okay? But now that thing's dull as butter, okay? But what we're going to do, we're going to lay that on there and get that angle as close as we can to that bevel angle. And I'm going to just work this. Now, until you know what you're doing, just take your time, go slow like this. You can hear how hard that metal is, okay? I mean, we're not moving much of anything on here. I'll show you. I mean, I can sit here and do this and work this back and forth too, which is how I do it. Okay, I'm not using a tremendous amount of pressure down, but I'm controlling that angle and working that back and forth on there. But even after all this filing, look at how little we're doing on that top edge. I mean, like I said, some of these single bevels are very, very hard steel. That's a good thing, and it needs to be, and they'll hold an edge for a while, but they take, you know, it takes a little bit of, you know, to break them down there on that. But so what we're doing here is I am working this edge until I get that bevel felt on the other side. That's all I'm after, okay? Rest of it is irrelevant. I'm keeping that angle. I'm getting that bevel set. I'm going to work this a little bit. Like I said, this may seem like a lot of filing, but remember, we're talking about extremely, you know, hard types of steels here for a lot of these heads. So there we go. Let's see if we got a bevel here. See if we got a roll over. I'm using the edge of this to see if I feel it, and not quite yet. So we're going to keep right on going. So I'm just going to work that in until we start feeling that edge roll over. Now some of you guys too might think too, well it's got a bevel on there, it should be coating that whole entire bevel. Okay, you know, with that file, should be scratching that whole entire bevel. Sometimes you're going to hit this top edge and that bottom edge of it only. That's because in their process, they're using a round grinder. When that round grinder puts a slight concave in the middle of that, that'll take, you know, 3, 4, 5 sharpenings before you actually get to the center of it. It's like a Tootsie Pop. It's no big deal. Doesn't matter. It's just part of their system they're using. They're not flat grinding it. They're doing it on a wheel, which is going to give that slight concave. So it's normal to have that. It doesn't matter. You're working the edge part anyway, is what you're after. So we're going to just work this edge for a second. Again, using a very old, clogged up file, but it's going to do the job. Diamond stone would work too, something coarse. Okay, now, see, we're getting there. We can check that again with the edge of this. Okay, now we're starting to feel that. I'm starting to feel that little bit of a burr right there. I can feel it with my fingernail, just ever so slightly. We're going to over-exaggerate it here. But see, the thing is to keep this angle the same. Okay, and don't be afraid of this. So many people are afraid of this. Oh my God, you can't do that. You can't use a file on a knife. I use a file on a knife all the time. You can't go backwards. That backstroke's doing nothing for you. Yes, it is. It's keeping my angle perfect. If I got to keep doing this, look at how slow this is for me to move through when I can set that angle on there and I can just rock right through it like this. So it is doing something for me. It's keeping my angle perfect for me as I work it. So, you know, yeah, I understand it's not cutting on the backstroke, but, you know, like I said, people really overthink this and try to apply rules where there should not be any rules. The only rules to this whole entire process is get a burr formed here, sharpen this side to get a burr formed back. Once you have it, get rid of the burr and strop it. That's sharpening. People don't overthink this. Try to keep your angles about where you're supposed to be and work it. So let's see how we're doing here, if we got that over exaggerated good on there. Okay. Alright, so if I look at this side now, I can actually even see that burr. Okay, and I can feel it. I can catch it with the edge of that. I can feel it. I can catch it with my fingernail here. So we got that burr formed. We'll take it a little further even. Like I said, there is no fear here. Understand. Doesn't matter. I can sit here and wrench and wrench. I can do all this horrible things to this head. Okay. And if I'm off angle a little bit, oh my God, what is he? Just bring it back. Okay, you're not going to hurt this. Don't overthink it. It's a piece of steel and you're working it into shape. Don't overthink this stuff. Okay, so we bring it this way. Here we go. We got it just about where we want it. So now we got that edge on there. And again, after all that filing, okay, note that. Like I said, these are very tough heads. I like that factor of it, but a file is definitely a handy thing. So we did all that work on there. Now we have that burr formed on this side over here. So now what I want to do is we're going to just do the other side of this one too, just for the same. So we're working the same thing on here. So we get it done. I'll fast forward through this probably, but we're going to do this side too. We're going to just sharpen this whole head. This one we're going to do a little less of that. Just enough to form that burr over there. They would be the same. You know, a lot of these new heads today, this new style here, they're a lot different than your carbon steel heads of the old days. Again, they have to be for the single bevel capabilities on a lot of these, and that edge retention and strength for such a thin edge on a single bevel. But you know, they're tough steels. They're tough steels, and they're heat treated hard. The days of having carbon steel heat treated to a Rockwell of 45, 40, you know, the 38, 40, 45, those days are not these. Okay, those are very easy to sharpen and quickly. These are going to hold edge better, and but they take a little more work up front. Like I said, they're pretty tough steels with how hard that heat treat is on them. So we got that set there. So let's see here. Okay, yeah, so you can feel that. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to bring that bevel off. Okay, I know some people are going to be like, oh my God, it's a single bevel. You have to stay flat to this back here. I don't. And I'm not gonna. I don't care. I'm going to sharpen it right on it. I'm using that ferrule as a guide. Okay, right there like that. And I'm going to create a burr with that. You can feel it snagging. Okay, that's that burr. We're getting rid of that burr. You see? Yeah, hitting that wall back there. We're getting rid of that burr. And I am going to form a bevel or a rolled edge on the other side. Oh my God, you should never do that with a single bevel. I'm doing it anyway. Okay, again, I know what cuts best for me. I know what I like, and I know what I want it to do. And some of the stuff out there I hear, again, push cutting, that kind of stuff, it means nothing to me. I want it to work. I want it to do what I need it to do on an animal. It's the only thing I care about. Okay, so we're going to put this in here. Okay, did we form that bevel on there yet? Yep, now we're getting an edge rollover. We're going to even exaggerate a little further. Oh my God, you should not do this, okay? It's not going to hurt anything, okay? Not going to hurt nothing at all. And it's, again, some hard steel. Sharpen some of the, you know, these style heads like this with, you know, these high-grade steels and these higher heat treats. You're going to want diamond or a file, you know, to get it going. Everybody's freaking out about what I'm doing right now. I can hear the comments going off. My keyboard's exploding. We're doing it, okay? Now we have a burr formed on this side right here. Let's just do this one too while we're at it. Same thing. Okay, I'm using that ferrule as a guide right there, which everybody's going to tell me is so wrong. You know, they're going to tell me I need to run this flat right on here and just do a couple little quick edges to knock that off on there. And that's fine if that's what you want to do. Okay, I've tried it, been there, done that many times. I find this works better for me and for the sharpness level that I am after. So here I am, grinding that. Whoa, we're going to really work it. You can still see that, right? Yep, okay. Okay, we're taking that edge right off of there. The burr, we're cleaning off the burr and we're sending the burr to the other side. Why? Because the only way to know that you have a sharp head is by having a burr formed one way, knocking that burr off and sending it the other way. Then you know you have sharpened this side and this side. Without that, there is no sharpness, okay? That is the rule that cannot be broken. A burr on both sides. Till you have a burr on both sides, you have nothing. That's my opinion. Take it or leave it. Do what you want to do. Again, this comes from 30 years of sharpening broadheads by hand in all different types, and this is what works for me. And like I said, I put them through a lot of animals. Okay, so now we have that burr formed over here. I can feel it right here. You can almost see it on there. You can see that burr formed on there. You can see that burr formed on that side. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are going to forget the file. We're going to go to the ceramic rod. Now we are going to very gently here start working and cleaning that burr off, following that same bevel angle. Notice how this process is much slower, much more relaxed. This is fine-tuned detail work. The rest of it was setting the angle of that bevel. Here we're actually doing the sharpening, not shaping and profiling. Okay, but we already know we had a burr on one side, burr on the other side. So now we are sharpening this. And again, with this type of steel, it's going to take a little bit longer. It's going to take a few more strokes here for this to happen. Apparently, a neighbor's over there decided to run his lawnmower right now. So let's see, do we got a burr on this side? See here? Yep, we can feel that. So let's get this side. Again, holding that angle. Hold that angle true. Just like that, working it through. See, we're back, are we back? You can feel that burr with your fingertip. Okay, I can feel it pull each way, and right now it's still pulling this way. I got to get rid of that. I want that pulling the other way. Okay, so we're going to bring this and keep working this down. So we got it pulling from the other direction. You can go into it is good too. Doesn't matter if you go forward, doesn't matter if you go backward, just keep the angle. Now if you're only going from the ferrule to the outside of the blade or the spine of a knife out, you're going to start to build more of that wire edge. So it is important to take a few strokes backwards like this when you're doing that final to break that wire edge or get rid of that wire edge that's on there off of there. Okay, same on this side. I can go this way. See, I'm going into it, that's fine. If I were going out away from it, I could be pulling metal and piling it on the edge. We don't want that. We want to be able to get rid of that metal, that wire edge that's on there by going into the blade. And then same here, we can go out if we want, but we want to make sure we get a couple that come back in. Just like this, okay? So now, I don't remember which side we were on here. Let me do this side here real quick too. Let me see. So that's the one we just did. Let's do this one. That same thing, okay? Gonna knock that down here. Now if you want to use a guard, stuff like this, handles, things like, again, I've been doing this for so many years. I know what I'm comfortable with, and I know what works best for me. If you would rather have this guarded, put a guard on it. You know, if you'd rather, you know, whatever method works for you, use it. That's all that matters, okay? But this is the simple hand version that works best for me and what gives me the best results. And I can carry this very simply in the field with me. And I can use my leather arm guard as a strap or my leather belt that I'm wearing, so I don't have to carry that. So just carrying one of these in the field is all I need for total knife and broadhead touch up and refreshing. And it works fantastic. Okay, so we're gonna put this on here. Make sure that's softer. Yep, we're feeling it on that side. Get this side done. We're gonna make sure we do those back strokes. Coming back. Make sure, you know, this is again to break that wire edge off. Take that wire edge that's on there off. Key thing is to just keep those angles. That's all we're looking at. You can also do it like this if you would prefer. Nothing wrong with this. Set that on there, work it. Work it down the stick, just like that. Nothing wrong with that at all. Same thing, come over to this side. So this one doesn't make any difference what your method is. Just keep the angle the same. Create a burr on one side, flip the burr over the other side, get rid of that burr, flip it back to the other side, and then start sharpening your head. Okay, it's it. You know, don't overthink this. I mean, we're already past where it needs to be here. I'm just showing you for reference here. Like this. Okay, that's it. Set that down. We now have a pretty wicked sharp head. Now this will shave, this will do all of that kind of stuff, but we're not done yet. We want to get this to the point where we're going to be able to rip through that rubber band at every single inch we touch it. Will this cut this rubber band? Yes, this will cut this rubber band all day. See, I mean, nothing to it just by touching it. But we want that thing to be wicked crazy. So that is where our stropping techniques come in. For that, I'm not going to be able to do it down here on the ground. I'm going to put it up here. So I'm going to actually reframe the camera. We'll be right back and we'll show you that process. Okay, here we are. Now, when we are going to strop on cardboard, a couple things we want to remember is we do not want to go against the corrugations like this, okay? Because then you will fall into each one of these ridges and valleys. You can see the corrugation on there. See the black marks? We don't want to go across this where we're in and out of those ripples. You want to go perpendicular to them across this way with your blade, or parallel to the ridges of them, so you're working the tops, okay? You don't want to be falling in and out of each of those ridges. So we're going to set this way on here, okay? We're going to set this head right on here. We want to make sure that that angle's right. Just set your finger on it, it'll find it, and then just strop, okay? That's all we're doing, light pressure, okay? This is polishing and removing all that microscopic burring, all of that stuff that's on there. This is giving you that almost mirror-like finish type setup that we're going for, but we have a very rough, file, quick ceramic rod type edge on there, which I really like. And we are putting this on here like this. We are just cleaning up that very little bit. That first 5 or 10 thousandths of that blade is going to be perfectly micro honed here, like this. Few there. Again, just set your finger, you'll find that angle. Not putting a lot of pressure. Okay, letting this do this. Now, a jeweler's rouge or some kind of stropping paste would be really good to have on here. Again, I don't have any down here with me at the rental house. I do in Georgia. And like I said, a lot of times I do this now. I do the first part, like the file part, I would do on my belt sander just because I'm lazy, and then I finish with the ceramic rod. And I always do this stropping by hand. Okay, this stropping process, whether it's leather, cardboard, doesn't matter what it is, it's always done by hand and then always finished with denim. Okay, then we're going to go back, same thing. Okay, no, again, I'm not laying it here and trying to just get that edge. I forget that flat side of that single bevel. I don't care. So we're coming in this way, and again, we're working right along those ridges. Okay, I don't want to fall into those valleys, is why I'm kind of coming in on this angle. I don't want to fall into them. I'd rather let the ridge tops do the stropping. So set it there. You can also use the inside of a cereal box. Works perfect because it's more flat and works great. Put some paste on it. Anything, cracker box, you name it, anything that's got cardboard on the inside makes a great strop. And I actually prefer cardboard more than leather now because this is disposable. I can throw this out when I'm done with it, or if I don't want to, and it's always readily available. Where leather, I got to constantly keep re-cleaning it and dressing it and messing with it, and it's a pain in my butt. Where actually, like I said, I still have leather strops, but honestly, cardboard's what I use 99% of the time anymore anyway. So there we go, we're stropping this side. Okay, you can see that it doesn't have to be a slow process, just a gentle one. Okay, back to this side. Getting that set. Okay. Now, we got that stropped, and I would probably go for a few minutes longer on here, but see, now that head is wicked, scary sharp already. I mean, hair popping. Again, I don't have much hair to shave here, but this thing is wicked crazy sharp. Now, we're not done. We need to use the denim. The denim, I don't understand why. Okay, but this is the most valuable part of the sharpening process for that wicked, perfect initial cut in, that kind of stuff. I do not know why, but denim is unstoppable. Now, normally I just take this and I'll take a chair or something like this, and I'm gonna put my knee up where you can't see it right now, but I'm gonna do this right on my knee. Like this is how I would normally do it. But for the sake of this, we're gonna just leave it laying right here. Okay, so it's just a piece of a blue jean leg. We're gonna set it there, okay? See, we got to get past that. You know, like I said, normally I have this stretched. It's almost like a knee hole right there where I have that stretched over my leg. But we're going to just stroke this on here gently. And I'm kind of dragging the tip so that I don't, if I go this way like this, I'm going to cut into it. So I'm kind of just pulling this way where it's less damage to the actual, to the denim, okay? But this is the most vital part of this process, is this right here. And it works much better on my leg than it does on a flat surface. Matter of fact, we're going to do it on my leg. So I'm going to bring this way. I'm going to set that right there. We're going to just twist the camera a little bit here so you can see what I got going on. Let's see here if we can make that happen. Where's that going to be at in relationship to? There you go. So, all right, so we're going to set that there. I'm going to bring that down just a smidge more if I can. There we go. Let's see what that does. I can't see on that side. Got to come up a little bit. Sorry. I got the camera on the other side of the deck. And let's see what that looks like. And it's on the other side of the frame. And that should be good. Okay, we'll do it right there. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, make sure everything that's in my pocket shoved off to the side so it's all out of the way. Then I'm going to set this here. I'm going to hold it down with my gut. Wrap that around my leg. And we're going to slide in, and there goes that, so that's fine. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to take this and we are going to strap that right on my leg. Like this, you can see, yes, we're good, okay? And I'm just going to work this And again, with these steels, some of these steels like this A2 and 58, 59 Rockwell hardness, you know, some of your more expensive heads, that steel is going to be pretty hard steel, and it's going to take you a little bit. So we're going to work through this here for probably 100 times, you know, but you can see how fast I'm going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 5, 26, 7, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So we're about 50. Okay, so now we're 55, 60. We're going to switch to this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 1, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 1, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 1, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60. Okay, ballpark. Now, going this way, slower. Don't cut your stomach, don't cut your gut, especially because when you're trying to hold your pants like this, you have your gut pushed out as hard as you can to kind of bite and hold that. So don't get carried away, you know, going this way. Go slower, don't get so crazy. But this is also the back side. I'm not going to do 60 of them on here. I'm going to do probably 30, okay? But we're going to put some on here. And your leg gives a little buoyancy to this, okay? There's a little push to that, which really lets it strop around that edge and get right in there and roll underneath there and clean that up really well. So we're doing this. We'll just do a few on here. Like this. Come over this side. Same kind of deal. We're going to just clean that up. If you get tired of doing it one way, just switch to your other side. Again, make sure everything that's in your pocket is out of the way. Kind of give your pants a twist if you're in cargo pants. So you got a leg to work with there. Stretch that out and over. And then same kind of thing. Okay, sorry, I know you're kind of out of frame here, but I'm fighting with it. But so you see. Okay, so that's basically what we're going to do. That's that final denim stropping. And that puts that wicked edge on there. Now this thing is just unbelievable scary. Camera is pissing me off with this angle of this camera here. Hang on, that's driving me nuts. Let me get you set back here somewhere where we can see. And set that and lock that. There we go. All right, so anyway, the this thing is wicked. This is just wicked, wicked, wicked. Like I said, shaving hair, it'll shave hair all day long. This is the real test. We take a rubber band. I pinch it between my two fingers here, and then I pinch it between these two fingers here, just enough to give it some rigidity, but you can see how flexible. You know, I'm not stretching that real tight, okay? I'm putting that on here, and what I'm looking for is I want that to cut as that moves everywhere. Look at that. I mean, that's just, these are examples of arteries, okay? And that is just instantly right through. I mean, I'm not even moving at a tenth of an inch, and it's slicing right through it. That's what's telling me that I am wicked razor sharp. I am getting it. Look at it. Look at it. As I go this way, every millimeter I move is cutting through that rubber band. Look at that. Okay, that's what tells me a head is razor perfect sharp, ready to hunt. That is what I am after right there. Will it shave? Yes, it'll peel hair. I don't have much hair, but it'll take that hair right off all day long. You know, like I said, that's what I'm after. So for me, that's my method of sharpening everything from your broadheads all the way to your knife blades to you name it. That is how it's done, that concept. And I'm doing it very simply with a piece of denim, a piece of cardboard, a ceramic steel, and a file. Okay, whatever you choose for these versions for yourself is fine. The rules: hold the bevel angle as best you can. You have to hold that bevel angle as best you can. Okay, it doesn't have to be perfect, but it has to be as best you can, or use a jig for it. Then create the burr on one side. Flip it over, sharpen it, and bring the burr back to that side. Once you have that, you know you have profiled that edge like you want. Move into your sharpening rod or sharpening system or stone or whatever it is that you want to correct and remove that burr completely and fine tune that edge a little bit. Strop, final strop on denim. Done. Don't overthink it. It's really a simple process. Like I said, especially with some of these newer heads, these designs like this one, that the tough head, that 1.5 inch tough head that he made me out of S7 steel, you know, a couple years ago was the same way. The Boyer stainless steel one. I mean, some of these steels that you're getting into now, high carbon steels, quick and easy, but these are also very low temper. They do not hold an edge long at all. One shot into foam, and these are dull. They're great, don't get me wrong, but they don't have the stamina is what you get out of these newer heads. But these might require just a little bit longer, a few more strokes with a file. If you, yes, use a file on them, I just showed you I did, I don't have a problem with that, but a few more strokes with whatever your sharpening system is, a few more strokes on a strop, and a few more strokes on denim is what it's going to take. But wicked, crazy, scary, brutal sharp is what we're after. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.